It's time now to take a look at the top stories making the front pages of some of the newspapers, and we have them before us. We are beginning with Saturday Vanguard, and of course the drama, the happenings in River State also, as we have seen so far, continues to find its way to the front pages of the newspapers. And now lawyers are saying that the Wike Fubara, that's the predecessor of the governor, Siminalai is Fubara. Well, lawyers are saying the Wike Fubara fight is a threat to democracy. And then there is condemnation of dirty politics, high-handedness, House of Assembly demolition spreads nationwide. And then there is a rider about what the paper calls the real reasons the 27 lawmakers of the State House of Assembly defected. Let's check out other stories now on the Vanguard. World Bank, now our enemy, a threat to our economy, says NLC. Rejects calls for government to increase petrol price to 750 naira a litre. Says World Bank, the IMF share history of failed prescriptions in developing countries. Insists present mass suffering, poverty worsened by last price hike. And then Biafra, Supreme Court declines to free Nnamdi Kanu. Blame FG, says it acted irresponsibly by invading the IPOB leader's home. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, that news is also mentioned on this paper. Inflation jumps to 28.20% in November. Edo governorship race is heating up apparently, and there is, some analysis there elevating the discourse with eyes on Igadolo as well as a roadmap for APC. Northern governors donate 180 million naira to survivors of Kaduna bomb attack. And then finally on the Vanguard, flight cancellations as well as delays. Why Keyamo, that's the minister's compensation scheme, may not work, posits stakeholders. Emmanuel.
All right, now we'll move on to the front page of the Punch newspaper. And the big story here says, revealed how Fubara fell out with Wike. Page 4 there of the Punch newspaper. As governor imposed commissioners, advisors, others on successor. And federal lawmakers protest, asked Tinubu to intervene. Why National Assembly can't act yet. Rep spokesman there talking. And we have other stories here. Paternity fraud, shocking revelations as more couples embrace DNA testing. And entertainers who dominated showbiz in 2023. I lost my sight while serving mathematics. Question, blind student honored by WAEC, they are talking. Marketers' fault, panic buying as few queues spread. And let's move on to the masthead now. Ohanaeze knocks Supreme Court for upholding Kanu's terrorism trial. I return to Nigeria homeless after 30 years in UK, US, Ondoman, they're talking. You can get through these on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Kemi, over to you, The Guardian.
All right. The Guardian is next, and the biggest story there is reading, Disquiet in Southeast as Supreme Court orders Nnamdi Kanu to face terrorism trial. Of course, that was a much-awaited verdict, and on Friday, the Supreme Court had its say, annulling, so to speak, verdicts of the lower court and ordering that Nnamdi Kanu must head back to the Federal High Court to continue his terrorism trial. Get details there in The Guardian. Other stories there, more or less replicated by the previous stories so far. Nigeria's inflation hit 28.20% in November. And of course, the wave of resignations continues in River State amidst the political crisis there. NLC rejects World Bank 750 naira later fuel price recommendation. All right, that's the much we can take on The Guardian.
We'll move on now to the Delhi Trust, and the big story here there says, Tudumbiri airstrike, families recount experiences, call for government assistance. Page 4 and 5 there of the Trust. Extend support reconstruction to Gara, Sabungida, Ifara villages. Patients in hospital long for home, and 429 million naira from donations pledges on record as northern governors meet. Military will punish personnel found culpable. CDS, they are talking. And we have the plight of a Nigerian university dropout, page 10 there of Daily Trust this morning. Inside Nigeria's 2023 Guinness World Record of Session, page 6 there of Daily Trust. Supreme Court orders Kanu to face terrorism charges. And terror attacks, Medicine Sans Frontiers partially withdraws services in Zamfara. Let's move on to the masthead here on the governor's quagmire, recalling stalemates during Yaradua, Suntai, and Buhari. And we also have ECOWAS suspend Niger as Niger insists on civil rule. Page 7 there of Daily Trust. Interesting stories on the front page of Daily Trust this morning. Kemi, over to you.
Finally, is the Nation newspaper this Saturday. Of course, the biggest story remains the happenings at the court, the apex court in the country. Of course, it's captioned Treason Trial, why Supreme Court reversed Kanu's acquittal, berates federal governments, though, over what it called extraordinary rendition from Kenya. IPOB, on the other hand, rejects Nwayamu's call for amnesty for Kanu. In the meantime, Tinubu governors Ohanaeze mourn former governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezefe. State celebrate as November FAAC allocation tops 1 trillion naira. In the meantime, inflation rate has hit 28.2%. Senate President Godswill Akpabio is speaking through his aides as to, trying to clarify the happenings that occurred after his birthday event amidst earlier reports that he collapsed. Northern governors to federal government and banditry as well as terrorism now. They donate 180 million naira to victims of Tudumberi bombing. And the Chief of Defense Staff is quoted as saying military will punish personnel culpable in that very horrendous air bombing. All right, those are the headline stories as we see in some of the major Nigerian newspapers. And as we always say, you can head over to the paper corner or to avail yourself of the needed information as to all these developing stories.